Hi, WQMD SA. This is Theron Moonsamy, and I'm going to tell you about my life growing up as a queer individual in South Africa. Um, I'm 30 years of age. I grew up in Chatsworth, Durban, KwaZulu Natal, as a middle child in a family of five. From a very young age, I knew I was different. This came about when I was a primary nurturer and caregiver to my teddy bears when playing House House. Um, I knew something was different about me, and it came about through media when I was watching television and understanding different displays of who these people were. The first instance was when I saw Elton John and Cher perform in a music video, and I turned to my mum and I asked her, "Oh, he's so cool, I want to be just like him." To which she replied, "No, you don't. He's a M word that rhymes with coffee." The second instance was when I used to watch Dharma and Greg and Will and Grace, and my gran at that point then turned to me and asked me if I knew what these people were. And I said I don't, and then she said, "Well, they are M words that rhyme with coffee." The third instance came when I was around 11 years old in primary school and was playing Baker's Mini Cricket, and it literally hit me. Well, the ball at least, that I was distancing myself and attracted to other things. Going into high school was a very confusing time with puberty and understanding what made me so different. It was also a very difficult time for me because it was when I was most suicidal. Understanding who I was came with its drawbacks in that I considered killing myself as a means to save my family from the disgrace of who I was, or as a whole, just telling them about myself. And this led me to my studies, which I've always fallen back on as a refuge. And I calculated that if I had to jump off the my bedroom window, I wouldn't, in fact, kill myself, but I would just really hurt myself and make matters worse. So I bit my tongue and stayed quiet for a number of years until I found my flock, or my chosen group of family and friends. And it was then that I decided to come out to my fag hags and then my classmates, who overwhelmingly were very positive responses to me coming out. And it wasn't even an issue, it wasn't a negative connotation, nothing was discussed about it, it was just another round of the mill thing. Um, Matriculating and going into university was another difficult, confusing time, because I'd been faced with a whole different ballgame. There was different cultures, different people, different races. I had never interacted or had a conversation with a white person before, for instance. But it's where I found that I could better express myself, taking all the skills that I've gathered throughout the years, but here truly express myself. It was then that I joined Activate to find other people like me. Activate was an activism group, or LGBTQI activism group based at Wits University, or is rather. Through them, I got an opportunity to actually go on the Three Talk show to speak on behalf of young gay adults everywhere. My focus is a bit more orientated towards kids like myself growing up and the difficulties that they face in a very patriarchal, hypermasculine, fostered society. And this was the first conundrum that I faced. I could do this to create visibility for people like me in my communities and communities around South Africa, but at the drawback of coming out for the first time to my family and my extended family. I bit the bullet knowing that this could do more good than harm, and I was just one individual, but the impact and the outreach could be greater. And I was 17 at the time, so I needed to get parental permission. So I forged a signature of my mum on my indemnity form, and I went onto the show. The public response was overwhelmingly positive. I was getting messages for weeks from people telling me how proud they were of what I did and how meaningful it was what I did. However, my mum, dad, and my dad's extended family didn't really take it. Over the years went by, as the years went by, the responses were positive and people started to respect me. And then I graduated as an engineer. I worked in further patriarchal communities, hypermasculine and Orthodox Christian communities, and still stay true to my guns. And today I continue my queer activism, and I'm currently in the throes of starting a Queer Plus shelter for displaced young adults. And yeah, that's my story.